Today on Metaphysical Mississippi, we continue our conversation with part 3 with the Green Witches, Kelly and Willow. Well, we were talking about the new moon, and pagan holidays and all that. So what is the significance? Does Halloween have a significance in your community? And what are y'all doing? And
well, Samhain is
that what it's called? Okay.
Samhain, so spelled Samhain. Most people will have seen it written, in places, and they'll call it Samhain or Samhain. But it's Gaelic, so it's actually Samhain. So almost like you're saying Soween. Samhain.
I'm not going to repeat you. I'm just going to let you say.
And it's actually a witch's new year. That's kind of like what it is. It is the third harvest festival of our year. Mm-hmm. It's a time of honoring our ancestors, gratitude, almost like a Thanksgiving. Well, that's really Mabon.
Right. We just celebrated Mabon, which was our Thanksgiving.
So the season starts at the beginning of August with Lunessa, which is spelled Lugnazad.
Right.
It's also Gaelic, so they're harder to. But that's the first harvest festival, and that's August 1st, and then September 20th is the autumnal equinox, which is Mabon. Or kind of like the witches' Thanksgiving. Yeah. That's when you give thanks for the harvest, have lots of gratitude. They're all agriculturally based holidays.
Right.
They were, so the Sabbats, Sabbats, not like Sabbath or for Sunday, but Sabbats, it's our high holidays, pagan high holidays on the wheel of the year. And so Samhain is just one of them. It's a fire festival. It's for honoring our ancestors. It's also the witches' new year, the beginning of kind of like the shadow time, the dark time, where you start to kind of go inside for winter, inside here. And
just like as the seasons change. we mimic what the earth is doing as well. And so the earth, things are dying and things are going back into the earth. Your roots are pulling all their nutrients in there. So this is a time of year where we go within ourselves. And the veil is thin right now. So it's a good time to commune with your ancestors, or, do quiet, self work on yourself, to sit and listen and just receive that,
getting ready guidance to hibernate, for the winter.
Right.
So being a witch really is just following nature's cycles and almost mimicking them. Like, in the beginning of fall, you start to let go like the leaves do, right? Yeah. You start to kind of
you start reviewing, what have I done this past year? Yeah. What goals did I set? Have I achieved them? Do I just need to let it go because I haven't done anything with it? And just like how the moon waxes and wanes and you do that, the year is like that too. So we
do that within the year, and we also do it within the month.
We came out of summer, which was at our peak, like the full moon, and now we're waning, we're losing light, we're going into the darkness. And so Samhain is, we're past the equinox and we're just celebrating, like she said, the third harvest, last harvest, like your grains and your fruits and all those
harvesting
things.
Those last things before you go into the winter.
Right. And if you go, there's also with the wheel of the year comes the story of the goddess and the god. And so you have right now the goddess and the god have taken their descent from the earth, from the upper world down to the underworld, into the darkness, like how the trees and the roots and everything
kind of goes deeper during the winter.
So the story of the goddess and the god does the wheel of the year like that. And now at Samhain, they're in the underworld and they're communing and are in love, and they'll they'll eventually, as we come around, the will, she's impregnated, and so she's carrying the child of light, and then at Yule, that's when she has the child of light.
Kind of like Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds just like that. I did, like I said, I didn't grow up with the
Christmas story being
Right,
familiar.
I mean, I know it now, but yeah.
But so like that's just one of those where really the Christianity stole the actual pagan story and made Jesus. So really, it's just
spring was fertility, and then the summer is the frolic
so
and
it's
love,
just,
and you're full of
and that's just the energy.
And,
follows the wheel of the year. So the energy, they've given names to the god and the goddess, and so they follow the wheel of the year.
And that's your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies.
Oh,
and then the child is light is all of it together. It's a lot. It's a lot.
No, you know what I realized is growing up, I never really took notice, and I think it's because everything's industrialized. Didn't really take notice of our food production linked with seasons,
because we don't eat seasonally anymore.
Right.
We don't have to, because
we import and export food.
Right.
But if you ate seasonally, and that's another thing, like I feel like you keep, and now it keeps coming back to me, you're like, gosh, most people like you are more environmental. Well, it's because we're more in tune to what Earth is doing at that moment. We live more locally, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You try to use and utilize what is actually growing at this time. That's the way you should be eating, because Mother Earth like puts things up in our way for when we actually need those medicinally.
Right.
So like
that makes a lot of sense to me.
First things that grow in the spring, you get your chickweed, and you get your dandelions, and those are things that you're actually supposed to be eating after winter, after stagnant winter hibernating energy. Those are blood purifiers,
and they cleanse out your
colon. So that's going to cleanse your body from the stagnant winter.
Why isn't this taught in school?
Right?
Because you can't patent plants. And
it's not taught because you can't make money off of it.
You can't mass produce genetically modified food.
So that's why you'll actually get most people like us are usually kind of like more smaller consumers. We don't take part in the mass consumerism. They're usually anti-capitalists. We're usually because we don't agree with mass-produced stuff. It's a drain on Mother Earth, and it's killing the environment, or it's taking us farther and farther away from the more natural lifestyle, being in tune with nature. Being in tune with nature, it will change your life, because you will realize that life is a lot more simpler and easier if you go with the flow of the universal energy, the cycle of our Earth, rather than to fight against it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it's admirable that y'all are aware, and y'all are.
I don't know if it's admirable. Sometimes it's really hard.
Well, I'm saying it's admirable that you're doing it, because you are going counter cultural. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Fuck the system. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Down with the man. Damn the man.
Yeah.
Like Empire Records.
Right.
I've noticed with everything going on in the world, I live in a very small town, and I went up to the store and they didn't have spaghetti noodles, and I'm like, where's the spaghetti noodles? And it just made me realize that I'm used to getting what I want when I want it.
Yep. And I think that I think that our ability to have evolved so far as to have everything at our fingertips has kind of sadly created a monster a little bit.
Yeah, it's disconnected us.
Like instant gratification shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Like it's taken us farther away from, being in tune with nature. and actually created this like numbness to it.
Right.
Like we like there's people living on this planet that don't even realize that it's a living thing.
Or that their broccoli comes from the ground, or what broccoli or cauliflower even is.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's people haven't seen certain plants in like a raw form or how it grows. And I think that if more people were in tune with just a small aspect of any of this, the world would be a much better place because they'd be aware.
Right.
Just kind of being mindless to everything and just like mass consuming and just give me has kind of created this apathy to the health of our planet. Like we live here. Like we live on this planet. If it dies, so do we. Like I think people like have lost that ability to actually look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, because what I say is all the time, technology is the art of arranging the world so that we do not notice it. Technology is the art of arranging the world so that we do not notice it. I had to say it 2 times.
Yeah, I'm going to replay this and write this down.
Right, let that shit sink in. It's true. And the disconnection is insane because we don't realize. I took a biodynamic farming class about a year ago, and I've already been studying permaculture and different ways of farming, but it's all about giving nutrients back to the earth. What nutrients are we giving our earth? What nutrients are we giving our soil and our water and our air? What the fuck else we need? We need water and we need air. It is essential.
Yes.
And if those things are poisoning us, you know what I'm saying? It's time to be like, why? Why is the air poisoning us? Why is the water poisoning us? Why is the dirt? Oh, it's the stuff I'm putting in the soil. You know, why is everybody sick? It's because the food they eat and it's not giving their body any nutrients, you know? So it's really that statement, you know, Rudolf Steiner, you know, biodynamics, putting nutrients back into the soil. And it's just like with anything, you're putting your nutrients, your intentions into whatever you are manifesting. You know what I'm saying?
All about energy.
Yeah.
All of it. And our sharing of the energy and our living in community with the energy. And I think that most people have just turned that off and they just kind of like mindlessly go forward. They're on their phones and their social media. And it's like completely blind to what's going on around them. And then it's like, oh crap, our ozone layer's depleting. Oh crap, like people have cancer everywhere. And oh crap. Well, it's because for so long we've gone along to try to do anything to make the biggest buck. Money really is the root of all evil because money stops people from doing the right thing. The ability to gain money will change somebody's mind from doing the right thing.
So you got to change your mind about money.
No,
that's
not being marketed.
So I know that is, I mean, that's hard. I mean, I agree totally.
Reuse and rehab and recycle and like this, we've become very disposable as a society. We are very disposable.
Yes.
Use things that are disposable because it's easier. And unfortunately, that's
where does that disposal go?
Unfortunately,
it doesn't go away.
It's creating a big problem.
It doesn't go away.
I've done a little green. I did a little blog probably 10 years ago where I was trying to do, it was Bee Magnolia Green, and I was and I started making my own soaps, and I even had I was out there at Fondren After 5. Do y'all remember?
Yeah,
I vent. Yeah.
I had a little table set up, and I saw my soaps, and because that's when I was awakened to, and that's when I started kind of going to rainbow and all that. But yeah, I even started making my own sanitary napkins.
Yes, as you should, because the other ones are filled with poison.
Right.
Yes, you know, like, you know, protein,
like bleached fibers, and you're putting it to the most absorbent skin in our body.
Well, the universe laughs at us sometimes too, because I like actually bought like the washable pads, and then then I'm having a cycle.
Then her
once every
cycle
5 months.
Oh, whatever. I stopped. Yeah. I made all of them, and then from old material, my whole family thought I was probably crazy. And I'm probably gonna cut this out because
It's
no,
okay.
we should talk about menstruation because it's real. It happens to women, and it's not shameful.
But I know. But
you put your shame on that. Look, you put your shame on that, and you're like, I should cut that out.
You're right.
Take that shame away. Women menstruate. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, do y'all do a red? I've heard of a red
tent ceremony.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been.
A friend of ours, Mandy, was doing them for a while up in Starkville.
Yeah, and she did one at Two Dogs Farms at my friend Dorothy's place.
Which is out here in Florida.
And of course, it was before COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they still have. And then at our women's herbal conferences, there's always a rent tent. And it's women supporting women. It's a safe place for a woman to cry, to be angry, to be happy, to be sad. It's a safe place. We can talk about what goes on in our lives, whether we're a maiden, whether we're a mother, whether we're a crone. There's advice there, and there's always someone to listen and not tell you that you're doing wrong or that this is a bad thing, because we have to embrace our womanhood. We have to embrace our cycles. We even have to embrace the hot flashes.
I haven't gotten them yet.
We figure it out. Luckily, we're embracing them together.
Yeah, I know. We're
gonna make it through. Shit.
As I'm like,
right. I'm sorry. I brought up their power surges. We're gonna start calling them power surges.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm very powerful. So the Temple of Witchcraft will be having their Samhain celebration November 5th.
Yeah.
There'll be vendors.
It's like a mini festival. We're gonna have presenters. Sandra Williams will be there teaching a class, and then we'll have a ceremony and ritual, and then we'll have a fire and food is provided, and there'll be a storyteller there too. Ashira Mayim. So it's going to be a really fun day. It's out at some friends' land. It'll be outside. The vendors will be inside, but it's an outside thing, and it's on a lake. It's like out in the woods. It's beautiful.
So kind of like what you call a harvest festival, right?
What was the date? What was that date?
November 5th.
Okay.
From noon to 11 p.m.
Yes.
We'll send you a link so you can link that in the story.
Or they can look on Mississippi Pagan Meet and Greet on Facebook.
And Vibe Fest Jackson, I'll get you the link to that. Or you can just go to the JaxZen website. It's JAX-ZEN.com. Yeah, and that'll take you right to all the information for Vibe Fest.
Wonderful. And the Vibe Fest is it starts at 10 and lasts
10. That's going to be community yoga at 10. And then music lineup starts at noon. The vending will start at noon. And then we have got like a healing tent, vendors, music. It's going to be it's going to be such a great day.
Yeah, food. Yeah, the music's going to be great too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Well, I thank you both for spending your time with me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Sorry we were all over the place.
No, that's fine. We're going to do this again if y'all are willing sometime in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.